Hey guys, welcome back to She Became Me podcast. I'm your host, Lentina Rogers, and I want to reiterate that our theme for this year of 2021 is living well with healthy habits. So, we have a really good show planned for you guys tonight, and we will be talking about healthy relationships. We will feature two couples that have authored books, and they will be talking about Black Love Matters. So let me introduce my co-host, and the first one is Ronieka Howell.
Good evening.
Hey, Ronika.
How's it going?
My second co-host is. Oh, great. Hey, how you been?
Been great.
So let me introduce my second co-host is Yalonda J. Brown.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Yolanda.
Hey, Ronieka. Hey, Tina.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. Cannot complain. Glad to be here. Glad to be live again.
Yes.
So, we ready to get started
Yes,
with
you
our
guys
guest?
enjoying February? The snow. Yes, ma'am. So let's go ahead and introduce them.
Okay. Our first couple joining us tonight and authors of a book that I could not put down last night, The Battle We Must Win. We would like to welcome Rodney and Tiffany Bussell.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi. Thanks
So
for
glad to have you all with us tonight.
thanks for having me.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
And we also have another special guest couple, and their names are Adrian and LaTeena Pettis. And LaTeena is the author of Wait, Don't Throw in the Towel. So help us welcome this wonderful couple aboard as well. Welcome, guys.
Welcome,
Hello.
welcome.
Hello.
Well, before we get started, we're going to share just a little bit about these couples because we wanted to talk about Black Love Matters as we close out February. And, we're going to get into a lot tonight. We're going to have some fun and we're going to have some dynamic conversations. So, just to tell you a little bit about Rodney and Tiffany, they serve as active committee members for three different marriage ministries in Indianapolis, Indiana: the Solid Covenant Ministry, the Marriage by the Book Ministry, and their very own, the Battle We Must Win Ministry. They have a strong passion and desire to help preserve godly institutional marriages by teaming up as husband and wife to spread the gospel as it relates to marriage in spite of the enemy's continuous attempts to divide couples and families. Rodney and Tiffany co-authored the book I already shared with you, The Battle We Must Win. And, I just love it that it is so transparent. It gives a very transparent depiction of their journey of how their marriage endured and survived several things. We'll get into it. And you're going to hear a lot about it. I don't want to take away anything from you all because you're going to have an opportunity to share the many ways that people, individuals, and couples can connect with you all. So I will stop there. Ronieka, the Pettises.
Yes, and the Pettises, Adrian and LaTeena, they are a dynamic couple, and they have tons of experience that they can share with you. And I'm just looking so forward to that. I'm not going to steal their joy either. And so,
Yeah.
but the book. Wait, don't throw in the towel. I mean, I think the title speaks for itself, but again, I'm going to allow LaTeena to take us on a journey when she talks about the book. So we just want to give you a warm welcome, and I'm just excited about the show today.
Yes. So I have a question. And I'm going to start with the Bussells. How did you guys, collaborate on writing the book together? Did you guys decide, like, you would take a couple chapters, you do a certain part, and you kind of collaborate throughout the whole book?
Uh, that's a great question. Um, there's four of us in the household that experienced dramatic times of our lives, and that was me, my husband, and my two children. And we all feel a lot. We all experience a lot. So when Rodney first brought up the idea of us writing a book, because we just wanted to share what God has done through this whole situation that we thought was dead. We thought it would be a good idea that every last one of us have a say so in the book, basically tell the story from each one of our perspectives. And that's exactly what we did. We all had our own section, and we just put it all together when it was all over.
Thank you, Tiffany, for sharing. I think because one thing that is true that I saw that you each have chapters and your children have chapters, which I think was very, very powerful, in everyone getting to share their perspectives. And it's not always easy, to talk about. Now, everyone that hasn't read the book, they don't necessarily know all of the battles or the things that you all talk about, the baseline of it. But I think, getting to Tina's point, it's not an easy thing, to collaborate and come together and just talk about your stuff. So I think that in itself
Yeah.
was a very important question to ask Tina.
Well, I will say it wasn't easy, especially when I heard his side of the story. Like when he's writing his part, it was hard to read that. He's actually sharing on his heart, what's in his mind. And it was just replaying all of the pain all over again. So it was difficult. And it was difficult to hear from my kids too, just what they were feeling and just what they were seeing during that time.
That's good. What were some? This
Okay.
question is for Tiffany. What were some of the things that you did to help you process or get through those hurtful or things that you were shocked about as your spouse or your children wrote? How did you what did you do to cope or to get through those
Wow.
moments?
Wow, that's a really great question. I will have to say there were days where I had to sit down and have a conversation with him and share with him how I was feeling. I mean, because to be quite honest, it was still a little fresh, the pain, the hurt, as we were writing this book. So there were times that we actually had to sit down and just talk it out, and he has been really good at reassuring me and assuring me that it's past. God is restoring us and working towards, doing better. So, we're doing this together. So basically, he was just being there, supporting me. I'm sorry, I got the echo. But yes, that's what I had to do. I just had to pause and have a conversation with him, pray about it because it wasn't easy on some days.
For sure. Thank you.
And so as we,
Okay, I have a question for
Tina, you
Tina
with us?
and
Okay.
Adrian. So, Tina, you, well,
Yes, I wrote it.
Okay. Tina, LaTeena, can you tell us what the basis of your book, Wait, Don't Throw in the Towel? Can you explain how you came up with the title of your book?
I actually came up with the title in the end of writing it. I never really cared to write a book. I was going when this book was written, I was going through my own personal spiritual processing, and in the same time dealing with the reflection and the reality of what my marriage was like. Although I was zipping and zooming and doing a lot in ministry, I felt like I was failing in ministry because my first ministry was at home, and it wasn't being depicted as what Scripture says. So through some guidance, I was told prophetically that I already had a book written, and I thought, okay, I haven't been writing a book, haven't thought about writing a book, but a year prior, I had wrote journals about how I felt uh, throughout a couple years span. So I started to go back through those comp books, and I noticed different things that I wrote meant different things concerning marriage. And I just started putting all that together. And when I got into it, I realized that although I had this weight of wanting to just give up, I was at the point where it was just like, we can just give up. Like, there's no point in hurting, trying to make something work that wasn't working. And I was willing to let go. You know, the old saying that says, if you love something, let it go. So I love my husband enough to feel like maybe it was just the best thing to do, to let it go. But once I got done with this book, I realized why not wait? Why not throw in the towel? Why not step out on faith? And so the book is based off of teaching biblical foundations of marriage and what it means biblically to be married, because I found that I really didn't know what my role in marriage was, and I'm sure my husband didn't know what his role was. We knew we loved each other, but we didn't know exactly what God meant by certain details in marriage. And that's where the weight, don't throw in the towel, comes in, because realistically, I think every marriage goes through a point where they want to throw in the towel. And I I I would rather be transparent than make people think that being married is all roses and everything is just perfect, because it is not. And so that's where the weight, don't throw in the towel, comes in, because I wanted people to know that I was going to throw the towel in.
Thank you for sharing.
That's good. So we have not heard from the men yet.
Yes.
So let's just talk about, so one thing, so the title Black Love Matters. You all have seen it. You've seen anytime there's a picture posted of a couple. I just saw some new wonderful pictures of the Pettises. You just celebrated love over Valentine's Day. I see the Bussells and everything that you're doing with your ministry. And everyone always, don't you see the hearts? Yay for Black love, hashtag Black love. Can you each of the couples, starting with the men, complete the phrase, Black love is? Black love is.
Black love is necessary for our community. I don't think we see enough marriages successful. So to hear the Pettis story, it's awesome. See that they wrote a book. We probably read that book too. But I totally agree with what she's saying. A lot of times people want to throw in the style. They want to treat marriage like they do their girlfriend and boyfriend. You know, they want to give up real quick. And this is a covenant. And so God expects higher things for marriage. And so for Black love, our community needs to see couples stand together. We need to see success. And they need to see men being fathers, men being husbands. So it's important to see that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adrian?
Black love is never ending. I mean,
Hmm.
that's something you gotta have. It's a reason why love is there. You know, you love your spouse. Um, for me, that's one thing that we had to get back. You know, like me and my wife were helpers, we're fixers. We can help everybody else, we weren't helping ourselves.
Mm.
Until we brought back the love into it to help ourselves and to fix ourselves, we had to base everything around love. And I knew we both knew we still had that for each other. But like just what you just stated prior to this, it's a covenant. So we based ours back on love.
Thank you so much. So we are going to try to get one more question in, and then we are going to play a game. And each of us, as each of the co-hosts, is going to ask the couples 3 questions each. They're simple, we promise, we promise.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. And then we are going to go into a part of our show called She-Mail. And this is the part of the show where we have invited guests to viewers to write in questions to us. And we never know what they're going to ask. And so we, during our marketing and promo for tonight, we asked individuals to send in questions that they might want us to ask of you. And so we answer those questions. You all answer those questions from our perspectives. And we always like our viewers to know that, you know, we are not mental health professionals. We are individuals in our perspectives and experiences. And so we're giving our opinions, our thoughts. And so hopefully everything that's said tonight will encourage, and our goal is that our viewers grow from everything that is shared. So is Tina with us to ask? Tina, do you have another question you want to ask before we go into our round of Black love?
No, actually, I think both couples have done a great job expressing themselves and giving us some great foundations to press upon. So let's go right ahead.
Okay, so this is like a speed round situation. But everybody, each couple will answer. But so you all ready? Tina, you want to start us off?
Yes, I can start off, and each couple can answer the same question, from each one of you guys. My first one is, who spends the most money?
It will be me and mine.
He thinks
So
I
you
spend
said-
the most.
Oh,
I
Tina.
buy a
Okay.
lot of stuff, but my stuff is bargain.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he spends more money than me because he spends more on one thing.
I think the opposite for us. I'm like Adrian, and he's like LaTeena. He spends. Well, he's a bargain shopper, but he spends a lot. But then I might spend a lot on one item, like Adrian. So, but he is a bargain shopper.
Okay. Okay, the next question is, who apologizes first?
Ooh, good one.
It depends on the situation.
I would say we equal in that.
Okay.
I think
You know what?
we're
Yeah,
equal.
because one thing I can say that used to be an issue before this book. He apologizes in his own way. He doesn't say the word sorry.
Okay.
So let's just get that one straight. He doesn't use the word SORRY. He does. I had to learn his love language, so he does tell me sorry, but in his own
Okay.
way, so he's right.
Okay, what about Tiffany and Rodney?
It all depends on the situation. Because I'm right most of the time.
Okay, guys, I got one last question. Who is the disciplinary?
I would say I would think I'll be a disciplinary, but the boys run away from her faster than they run away from me. So probably I'll probably see she has an edge on me a little bit on that.
Okay.
I would say
Okay.
I would say Rodney.
Okay.
He does the most disciplinary with our kids, and I just support him.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Yalonda, Ronieka, go ahead with your questions, whichever one, because those were my three.
Okay. Yolanda, you want me to go or you want to go first?
No,
Okay.
you go ahead.
Okay. So my three questions. The first one is, what is your spouse's love language?
Adrian's is what's the like touching, like
Physical touch.
Physical
Physical
touch.
touch.
He likes physical touch.
Okay. Adrian, what's
LaTena's would
LaTeena?
be the kitchen. Like when she will go and throw down something real good or make my favorite or she'll end up going she'll end up getting something.
So acts of service.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And Tiffany,
Yes.
Tiffany, what's your spouse's love language?
My spouse's love language is gifts. He
Gifts?
loves to be thought of because he does so much of that for me and everybody else. So it's nice when we think of him, or when I think of him, it could be something as little as just remembering, if I come downstairs and get a cup of tea in the evening, make sure I get him one too. Or if I'm out in the store shopping for me, pick him up something sweet too.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something that he always does for me. And I know how much he really likes that kind of stuff. So.
Okay, Rod.
Yeah, she got depends on which week it is. So physical touch most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also quality time for her too. So
Okay. Okay. So the second question that I have is, how do you let your spouse know that you not only are listening, but that you hear them?
You tell them.
Yeah, I have.
I'm listening. I hear you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking the same for us. That's like, I don't know, outside, every relationship is different.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, you have to just, our personality, we both have strong personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be very clear with one another, because your perception can trigger things.
Yes.
And so you just got to be upfront and say, hey, do you understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes he can say no. So I have to sit down and tell him. But yeah, just say it.
Yeah.
What about you guys, Tiffany and Rod?
Usually when I come home and he's watching a game, I start talking about something, and he immediately just puts on mute or pauses whatever he's doing and just turns right to me and focuses. So I appreciate that.
Okay.
And then for me, you want to answer that? I just took over for her.
okay, for her, she'll let me know she heard me. Something I mentioned, she'll try to handle it. Just let me know, hey, I heard you during this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. And then the third and final question that I have is, if your spouse was stranded on an island, with you, of course, what one other thing would they need to survive?
Besides sex. price of food. I don't.
It could be their favorite food, or maybe it's just something that they.
I mean, he likes to eat.
Okay.
So he's gonna want some food, maybe a wing stop or something. I don't know.
Okay.
He needs some food.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that the same for both of you all? Food?
I would say a mirror.
Hey, I'm with you when you're right.
That was good on the island.
That is hilarious.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
I think for us, or for me, I just want to make sure I have my kids with me. So I'm going to have this mom on everybody. We got to survive. We all got to survive together. So
Okay.
I wouldn't want to leave them. Would you say?
And just what you figure out how to play football.
Okay.
Good questions. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right. All right. So here's my round. Favorite Black couple and why? And the couples can be celebrity or non-celebrity. Whoever wants to go first.
For me, for us, I would say, because she always like Felicia Rashad,
The Huxley.
the Huxley.
Okay.
The Cosby, definitely. This is pre-jail.
Yeah, they just always seem like they work well together, have fun together. I love how they just work through different issues with their kids together. So, and they still, like flirting with each other and stuff like that. So I always like that couple, even though it's, character.
Nice.
Great. Thank you.
We kind of got a couple of couples that we like.
Okay.
Yeah, for celebrities. I mean, we got live examples. Can we just use live examples? Like,
Are we supposed to use live examples or celebrities?
Say that again.
Live is supposed to be celebrities
or people we know.
people we know.
It can be celebrity or non-celebrity, whichever you want.
You do the bangs. I do too.
You know what?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mutually,
Yes.
I enjoy his parents.
Okay.
They've been married for like 58 years. They got
Beautiful.
8 kids, and like they're the reason why I'm thriving with him, because they raised us with a wonderful son. And we come from different backgrounds, so I didn't get raised in that era. So, and there's so many wonderful marriages that's come out the Pettis name. And so I have to give it to the Pettis, Oliver Pettis, the man in charge, the man who made all them kids.
The one she got to know me about.
Yeah, like they got so much swag, and this, like, being married to him for 12 years and being a part of their family for the last 14 years, and watching, like, looking at the background and the history and the root and foundation of where they started to where they're at now. That is just powerful. Like, that to me is Black love. Like, watching that and then having an example that close is like, you can't fail, because they don't want marriages to fail. Like, it's like in their family, like, divorce is not something that really is a hot topic. Like, that's just that's something you don't really talk about. And even when we were facing our situation and issues, even my sister-in-law, like, later down the line was like, I knew y'all wasn't gonna get no divorce. I ain't gonna get no divorce, because that's just something that they're against because of the covenant and the foundation. So I would say Mom and Pop's Pettis, those are my heroes.
That's good.
That is really good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What about your first date, your favorite first date memory? Uh-oh.
Sizzle,
we
sizzle.
talk about the Waffle House.
Uh,
And the only reason why it wasn't the thing is it wasn't really a date.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. Well, he claimed it was a date because he actually paid for something. But when you find out how much he paid, I don't know if it was a date or not. But
I paid.
we were friends, and he asked me to go to breakfast with him, and I worked late shift. And so I wasn't really hungry, so I ordered these 99-cent hash browns. He was excited. He said it was the best date he ever had. He said he was used to women like buying up all the stuff on the menu. And he was like, I was like, I'll just get these. He was like, you don't want nothing else? I was like, oh, I'm good. He was like, oh, okay, yeah. So that's the funniest date because he is excited. And he don't get to spend 99 cents on dates anymore. But the first time we ever went out, it was at the Waffle House. It was just fun. Like, it was fun. Like, that's one thing that I really stress in marriage is that's another thing besides love, because love never fails, but friendship never dies. And so we had a rare opportunity to be friends without being intimate with each other. So we had a friendship for a year. So that's something that we always can go back and, when we having some issues or we're going like this, we always go back to, okay, we just need to be Pettis and Kunta right now. We can't even be Mr. and Mrs. We have to go back to our stomping days when we was just cool. And so we do that now, even now. That's why we're always joking and playing and laughing because that's all we did when we was friends was make jokes and laugh. Yeah. And so we found that that's what helps us thrive now, in the ladder.
But she called me some names down back then. She can't call me now.
That's good. Thank you. Okay, Bussells.
Man, our first week, he came over. He said, wherever we go, I'm just letting you know, all I got is $20. Right? So wherever we go, it just got to be under $20. So we ended up going to, that was like red flag number one for me. So we went to Rick's Cafe downtown.
Union Station.
Wow. And we ordered wings. And when I tell you, our meal came up to $19.99. Right? But we had the best time that night. We had a lot of adventure that night. First of all, when we got back to the car, somebody had broken into his car, stole his window, all his CDs.
Oh my God.
We ran around town with no window, trying to do that. The whole time, he's just making me laugh. I'm not trying to laugh, but I'm cracking up. It's just funny. But we just had a fun time, and that was just memorable.
I had to keep from crying because of my baby. I had a 1957 Chevy S10 Blazer with 3 stars, the boom system.
Yeah, Katie was hurt.
Oh, that is hilarious. Thank you for sharing. Okay, my last question is favorite characteristic about your spouse? And this is for all of you to answer. Favorite characteristic about your spouse?
I just love his heart. He has a heart for people. When I look up, he's always for people and doing for them. He's very selfless, which is something I'm still working on doing because I'm just being honest. I'm selfish. So he teaches me a lot of that and just thinking about other people. I love that about him. This is love family.
Yeah, like the Pettis is my mom and dad. I've been married 51 years. And so we celebrated last a year and a half ago, 2 years, almost 2 years ago. Wow. And learned a lot from my mom, watching her sacrifice a lot. So that's where I got that from. Also, for Tiffany, she's very creative. She's like a dream person. So everybody, her family in Missouri or family in Kentucky, they know we're together, even family here. Tiffany is one person. So she can look at something around the room, stay at a game real quick, and she'll make it happen.
Okay. All right, thank you. Adrian and
My,
LaTeena.
fa- my favorite characteristic of Adrian is being able to be calm in the midst of storms.
Mm.
Like he's not easily agitated, and I can be a little irrational at times, and he's not. So that gives us balance. And so he like
Hmm.
tames like Bull and me, and he's quite. Even though like his characteristics, like sometimes to other people he comes off a little bit intimidating, but he's really not. He's really gentle, and so those are like the best things I like about him.
Okay.
Great.
Well, for Kunta, I would say her hunger for family. You know, like she loves family. I mean, and she's a jokester. I mean, she's low key can be a comedian at sometimes. So I would say those things that sometimes that when you're having a bad day and you come home and you can forget about your bad day, that's the main thing
Nice.
I look forward to looking
That's
at.
sweet.
I mean, it's you can have especially in some work environments, you have bad
Yeah.
days, and then you come home, you walk through that door, and that bad day is behind you. So she's a queen
Yeah.
of making you forget about your bad day.
Nice.
That's good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Good.
All
Okay,
right.
guys. So this is the part of our show we moved to she-mail.
All right. You all ready for she-mail? Tina, you got the
She-mail.
mailbox ready?
Yes. So yes, I'm gonna pull a couple out of here, and let's see what we get. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My wife cheated on me, and I do not have the heart to tell our son because I do not want to change his view of his mother, but I feel I owe him an explanation as to why we have been arguing so much as I try to figure out if we can get past it. So, what do you guys think about that? That's a pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So you all can go first.
is that for anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was a similar situation what we went through. So I'm not sure the age of the child, but our kids, they kind of knew something was going on. We tried to keep them away from as long as possible until we had to finally separate. But up until that time, we would try to keep our arguments away from them because we didn't want them to know that kind of stuff because it does change their view of their parent. So my suggestion is continue to working on it with your wife. Um, just you two together for a while, and if it gets to a point where you have to share, then you will have to share. But you can spare those children those kind of traumatic things as long as possible. That would be that would be my advice.
That's good.
Good. Thank you. Anyone else
My
want to
aspect
take a
on
stab
that,
at that?
yeah, my aspect on that, I would say you gotta forgive. It is going to be rough. It is going to be times that you're not going to understand why. Uh, I would always leave the kid in the kid place. Uh, some things that it's not saying you want to keep it away from your kids. Maybe later on down the life, you can use that situation that you had to deal with you and your wife to better um, a situation that could happen with your child. Um, but my main focus was probably get some counseling. Um, You have to sit down and really speak it out, talk about what happened. And it's all about get better. So it's not point fingers. If it happened, it happened. There's nothing you can do to take that back at that time frame. So you have to learn how to move on, communicate, write it down, sit down and have grown folks conversations.
Amen.
And speak with your wife. Open a good book. Let's see how you can get better. It's all about communication.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Well, I know I have nothing to add to either of those
That's good.
perspectives. Those are good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Tina
Yeah.
or LaTeena or Tiffany or LaTeena, you feel free to
Okay.
answer too, and we'll chime in too. But Tina, let's get another one in.
Yeah.
Okay. Me and Eric friends. So now that I have left that abusive marriage, it seems they are all still staying connected, and I feel abandoned. How should I deal with this? Yeah, that's another deep one.
Mm.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
That applies to all types of relationships, don't they?
Yeah. It
Isn't
really
that
can.
hard when you have someone you with someone, or you're friends with someone, and there's I call a breakup, a friendship funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's still people that you share that you have in common. But this is even harder in marriage. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
You all have any perspective on that?
I do.
Okay.
Prior to our marriage, I was married really young, out of high school for a few years, and I was in an abusive relationship, but we had mutual friends. And after we went our separate ways, he ended up with childhood friends, and I ended up with the people we hardly even knew. But when you really are focusing on your healing and you're focusing on moving forward, that's really not something that you should be dwelling on. When you divorce, that's the whole. It's a split, and so the reality is you're going to lose certain relationships. Certain relationships you're just not going to have, and that's part of the reality. That's why when we speak of divorce and we talk about divorce, we can't just talk about it from the aspect of, okay, this person abused me, whether it's a woman or the man, and then, okay, I deserve this because I got abused, or I feel like I'm abused, because I'm really paying attention to the word abuse being used. So in that aspect, it sounds to me like there's a lot more deeper healing that needs to take place, because that feeling of abandonment and rejection is just not rooted from losing friendships, being in a marriage. It's much more deeper than that. So I would say do some soul searching and really self-identify with what you actually think you are losing and go from there.
That's really good advice.
Good.
I would suggest to piggyback from LaTeena, just maybe get some counseling. Find a therapist that can help you through this. I know they have like what they call like divorce group, divorce care, and
Yes.
then once you start healing, you start surrounding yourself with other people. You're with a different friend group going forward.
That's good. Thank you. That's good. Okay, Tina. Ronieka, you want to chime in on that? You have anything in addition to those answers?
I think those answers were great.
Okay, Tina, we got time for another. These are good.
Really good.
I like it that you all are answering so
Yes.
well, because
Yes.
we're always on
We
the
can
hot
do
seat. We
one
get
more.
stumped. They stump us quite often.
All the time.
So while we're waiting on Tina to get another question out, we want to
Okay.
make sure we thank our sponsor, Enhanced DNA
Is
Publishing.
there ever a
Ready? Okay, go ahead, Tina.
yes? Is there ever a okay? Is there ever a time in a relationship when lying is appropriate?
What she talking? What?
Right.
Oh,
Is
right.
there ever a time in a relationship
When
when
lying
lying
is
is
appropriate.
appropriate?
Hmm.
Yeah.
We all kind of like,
I'm sitting here thinking about when there's ever a time it's appropriate for lying. No.
No.
I mean, we've both been guilty of doing that in the past. And it's so hard to, to really gain the trust that you need between each other when you even tell the smallest of lies.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say this, though. If you do lie, make sure you tell them, a couple minutes later that, you know what, I lied. This is the truth. Don't let too much time go by. So yeah, I don't actually not imagine any time when it's appropriate.
I would have to say I'm indifferent, and what I mean by that is I don't think that just telling lies, just to lie about something to be deceitful, is right. But there's times I haven't told him some things, and he's asked me, and I had to lie because he's a hothead, and I need him to go from 100 to 0. Even in that moment, there was times where I had to just say it was something else different, and then tell him a week or two later the same information, and he processed it totally different. That's why I'm indifferent. About if you're lying just to be deceitful, you ain't gonna be able to do it anyway, especially if you're spiritual, because you're gonna be convicted.
That's right.
But if you're doing it to make sure you're protecting your spouse, and you're protecting their heart, their feeling, how they process things, more about your spouse than the outside world. So I would say that it's case by case and how well you know your spouse and why you're having to tell a lie. Because at the end of the day, a lie is a lie. But I don't like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like, don't do this or don't do that. Because if you tell somebody the truth in a situation that can lead them to make a choice that will ruin the rest of their life. Not saying that he would do that. I'm just speaking, in general, you have to be careful with that. So I say use wisdom.
And to piggyback off that, I would just say, if you're in especially my work background, if you're in a situation that you have to tell your spouse, if it's a life or death situation, going through my work experience, I would say yes. I mean, on certain things, but just to lie to your spouse. I mean, everybody got to grow up. Especially been together for so long. You have to grow up, and that shouldn't even be a topic really for you. Now, when she's speaking about, I might say, "Hey, Dad, you went to the mall today. Now, what did you spend today?" And she might say, "Hey, I just bought a pair of shoes." I'm like, "No, the bank PNC, I just seen the swipe badges on here that you done swipe more than just a pair of shoes." So it all depends on what level what we're talking about. But if it's a life or death situation that they could be in, yes, always get yourself to safety. You see what I mean? But however, it got to be a time frame. You've been together so long, and everybody's grown up. We all grown folks here. That it got to be a time and a day that ends.
Okay.
Right,
Those are good answers.
Really
Those are
good answers.
Because I was thinking about when my husband says, "Is that new?" And I'm like, "No, I've had this." I tell a little lie.
Just a little fib.
A little.
Okay, so yeah, I guess we all do that to some degree. I think when we lie to really deceive, that's when we're kind of it's dangerous. But yeah, I'm with you, Yalonda, on that. Yeah.
So, okay, we want to thank all of our viewers too for being patient with us as we've had a few technical difficulties, but it's okay. We got good stuff. we want each couple to please share how, for example, how can they get the book? How can they connect with you, with your ministry, for you, the Bussells, everything that how can they get connected to you all?
Well, for us, there's a couple different ways to get a hold of us right here at the bottom of the screen, but you can visit us on the battlewemustvin.org website. You can visit us on Facebook under Rodney and Tiffany Bussell. We post a video every Tuesday on YouTube. We talk about all types of marital topics. A lot of these topics are inspired by, people who just feedback or comments, asking certain specific questions. Some of them pretty controversial. Like today, we talked about, if you go online right now under YouTube, we're talking about revenge after the affair. So pretty interesting stuff. We're getting a lot of feedback on these things. Also, where else?
You said
Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah, but we don't. I'm on every social media platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
And our email is the battle we must win at gmail.com. So you can there. That way, if you want to book it this week or something like that, we're going to do it.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. We will check that out too. Thank you. And then LaTeena, where can they get the book? Don't throw in the towel.
My book is available on Amazon, so you can just go to Amazon. It's on Prime, and just type in "Wait, Don't Throw in the Towel" or my first and last name, LaTeena Pettis. I also have a website. It's www.paradigmempowerment.com. And that's a little bit more information on me. It's an emerging site. And so as I grow in God, it grows. You can also friend me on Facebook. I'm just LaTeena Pettis, and my page is just full of empowerment. You'll see a lot of, like Yalonda said, she just saw us at our Valentine's Day couple party we went to. And so you'll just see a lot of our family engagements if you become a friend. And just, I'm about real life and just being just a genuine, transparent person. So what you see here is what you probably don't see on my Facebook page, but people just love to connect with us, just to watch genuine love and just a genuine couple. We're just laid back. We're not doing a whole bunch of videos and all that stuff right now. Like I said, we're just emerging, but we're enjoying ourselves right now. So that's what we're focused on.
And the Bussells, and we like doing a lot of things with positive couples. So we probably hitting you up for a date night. We like
nice.
I love that. Yes.
Friend,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm going to use your turn. I only got $20.
What'd you say about $20?
I'm past now, man. So we good.
Oh yeah, we going on 24 years of marriage now. I think we bumped that up to $30, $45.
I got it.
All right, that's good stuff.
But Tina just reminded me. I didn't let you all know where you can purchase our book. It's actually on Amazon as well.
Okay.
All right, wonderful.
Well, I think I'd just like to take the time to share how just so that you can stay in the know of all things She Became Me. So you can join us live each month. So right now we're doing I think every fourth Tuesday at 7 p.m. And you can simply catch the replay on our YouTube channel, and that's on YouTube at She Became Me. And then make sure that you subscribe so that you can just stay up to date on all things that are happening with She Became Me, and to view our previous shows. And if you have questions that you want to submit for our She-Mail on the She-Mail segment of our show, please email those questions to shebecameme2020@gmail.com.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks again to our sponsors, Enhanced DNA, Publishing. And if you too want to become a sponsor, you may also email shebecameme2020@gmail.com and learn ways that you can be one of our sponsors with your logo showing and be featured and mentioned on our monthly broadcast. We want to thank our guests again,
Yes.
Adrian and LaTeena Pettis, Rodney and Tiffany Bussell. Lentina, you're with us.
I
Thank
think
you
I'm
for your
back.
leadership as always
Yes, always.
and the vision. And we will see you all next time.
Thank
Yes.
you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Enjoy this.
God bless.
It's supposed to